Good evening all, welcome to the second episode of the Forsaken Council live, and tonight we are discussing the raid. There's been an update today which we're going to go through, and we're going to go through the raid, the format, the prizes, maybe some ideas, some tips and tricks of what you could use, and maybe even some opinions on what we think you should pick as prizes. So joining me tonight we've got Dead Sinner, aka Ren, The Face, aka Lucy, and Insector Gadget. I was going to say David, but I've been told to say only Dave, and I just said David then.
Hey.
Anyway. Yeah, Dave. Okay, guys. So what we're going to hit first, Lucy? I believe that we now have someone officially making slides. Lucy is now the new slide girl.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see how she's messed them up.
Hold on a minute, I just need to find the first one. Hold on.
Basically, I'm giving out brownie points for anyone that can find faults in Lucy's slides tonight.
Hold on.
So,
Wait. I need to click slideshow. There we go. Okay.
Right. Are we ready, Lucy?
Okay.
You need to make it go larger. Oh, God.
What do you mean larger? I've made it larger. It's on my screen.
It's not on my screen.
Guys, is everyone else? Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. I know what I've done. Hold on.
Oh, God. You found the first hurdle.
Hold on. Oh, my God. Right, hold on. Wait. Just stop sharing me a minute, please.
Right, I'm not sharing you. Sorry, guys.
You know people don't want to see slides. They want to see Lucy, right?
They want to see
right,
Lucy. Well, maybe,
Just saying.
Right,
yeah,
here.
maybe you shouldn't be sharing the slides. Maybe I should.
Right. How's that?
That's better.
Much
That's
better.
I'm red. I'm actually red, so... Okay, go.
Right. So bug fixes and tuning. We'll be as fast as we can on these slides. So we know we're not going to focus on boring slides all night. But we do have to cover the information, and it's very difficult to do so without presenting that information on screen. Bug fixes and tuning. Fixed a case where ships with remote targeting might have to move closer to a mega hull target to fire on it than other ships. I can't say that's an issue I've noticed. You guys?
No.
No, not me either. Corrected an issue where ships with siege or assault deflection could receive less VXP for damage taken than expected, such as the case with the Punisher hull, for example. I think I have noticed that, actually. I found my Punishers a lot harder to rank over VXP weekends and stuff. So, you guys?
I can't say I noticed anything when I ranked mine up in the VXP weekend. It was just as easy as ranking anything else.
Mm-hmm. Shards for
I had the first problem, but not the second one.
Mm-hmm. Shards for blueprints will no longer be awarded to players that have already achieved the maximum capacity for the full blueprint. Well, I haven't achieved that with any, so...
What it was is people that had got 5 gammas from the DUBs were still getting gamma shards, and that was upsetting them because they wanted ghost crawler shards maybe at this point, right? Because they'd gotten all their gammas, and instead of getting a ghost crawler shard, they're getting a gamma shard, which is useless to them.
Well, if there's players that have got 5 gammas, look, I'm not giving you any sympathy, okay? Next bug. Fixed a bug where the weapon's range of a defending ship with countermeasures equipped could be displayed as increased with a row crew attached to the fleet. Again, I would say that that's not something I've noticed. Any of you guys picked up on that? Where the countermeasure range is getting increased with a row crew?
Nope.
On like a guard ship? No?
No.
Okay, I'm going
actually, do you know what? I did have a thing with that because I always run junkyard dogs on my guards, right? And my Aegis was showing massive range, like 118 range or something.
Right.
I actually sent a ticket in about it.
Mm-hmm. No, I can't say it's anything of that I've noticed. I did think that the Punishers maybe had a VXP issue, but I thought it was mainly because they weren't the ships doing the most damage. So I wasn't sure if it was a bug or just the fact that they weren't, doing the damage. We'll try and hit the updates as fast as we can. So the March build time, I think that the fact that they've done this again is absolutely amazing. What about you guys?
Yeah, it's good. Mm-hmm.
You know, I know a lot of the tech there doesn't necessarily appeal to us as end game players, or some of it appeals to me, some of it doesn't. I know probably none of it appeals to you, David. I don't know about you, Ren.
Well, reflective coding 3 appeals to me big time. I use that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is any reduction is a good thing. Do you know what I mean? Any reduction in anything is a good thing, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think that looking at the prize list, like, you could set up a Crusader quite well, I think, through this raid, but we'll get into that a bit later.
Liam,
yeah.
Can you unselect the slide thing because it's stuck on the slide? Just some people are saying they want like a little bit of, you know, not stuck on the slide thing.
Okay. Well, the only way I can see the slide is if I click you, though. So, okay.
Well, these are all just the reduced times and everything.
Okay. Well, then, to avoid giving you guys a mass amount of slides on screen, we won't go through everything item by item because there's a fair bit there. But maybe we'll just point out some of the more noticeable ones. I mean, reflective coating 3 is a big one. That's dropped by almost 1 day and 10 hours.
It was about 2 days or over 2 days, and now it's like 12 hours.
The D5R is good as well because that's dropped 22 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's significant.
Very significant, and I see that going on my Centurion. So very significant for me as well. In fact, look, this update, I can tell you this. I was looking at a Centurion build before this update and a Centurion build after this update, and for me, each ship dropped by 7 days. So
that's massive.
That's massive. Across 4 ships, that's 28 days. That
probably means you can get a functional fleet of 3-4 ships in a month and a half or thereabouts.
Yeah, that's nearly a month off your build.
I'm down to like not much over 10 days a ship, which is the lowest build to date of any fleet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because people who want to coin can coin it for a more reasonable amount of money. People who want to wait can still get the whole out and get a fleet out before it becomes obsolete, right?
Exactly. And this trend of build reductions, I mean, I thought that we were just a bit lucky last month, and I was very pleased to see it, and I give them, deserved praise for it. But to see it again this raid, I was quite.
And it's a trend, Liam. I mean, it's something that as they release a new top hull in a category. So this month is ballistics. Last month was mortars.
Mm-hmm.
If they stick to their plan, they're going to keep reducing build time of associated holes in that line, right? So now it's ballistics. So there you go. 2 ballistic holes for mid-level, low-level have had their times reduced.
Well, this is something I actually spoke about maybe 3 or 4 months ago myself as well. Quite vocally I was about this. Is I said that whenever, say for example, a new missile hull come out, all previous missile hulls should take a reduction. It was something I went on quite a lot about. So I'm really glad to see that.
Yeah.
That it's here. I'm not saying that the fact that I went on about it is the reason it's here, but I'm just saying that it's something I've spoken about before, and I'm glad to see it. So yeah, I mean, that's kudos to Kix on that. And next month, I hope they do missiles, and we see all the missile stuff go down. Let's get into the raid, Renegade. Everyone who is playing BP has probably already been on the forums and seen a lot of this information, but Renegade is the name of this raid that's coming. And one cool thing they've done here, which you can see on the screen there, is they've increased the uranium, which I think is pretty decent. I mean, I still don't think it's right, but I think it's an improvement.
I still think it's just a token gesture. I mean, 20K, I'll burn that on one retrofit, right?
Yeah, and there's no mention.
When they started giving uranium for raids, I mean, it was I think 10K, 8K. Back then, I don't think we even needed that for retrofit. It was much cheaper. Now we need uranium for everything, and 20K is nothing. I mean, Forsaken Mission back then gave us 15K, now gives us 40K. Mm-hmm. I would be glad with something like 40, 50K for a raid.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that,
because there's no FM, there's no Forsaken Mission this week, right?
Yeah, and there's no Forsaken Mission, and the sector threat bar drops during a raid.
Mm-hmm. And also, yeah, there's no uranium. Like last raid, they had Scourge fleets that were spawning round the relay towers that you could get uranium from. It wasn't as good as Armadas, but you could still get uranium from them, right? And there's no mention of that this raid. So what are we supposed to do for uranium?
Yeah, I mean, last raid.
Sorry.
Go on, David.
Well, retrofits keep going on, right? You know, just because it's a raid, my retro lab doesn't stop working.
Yeah, and I can tell you something as well. Last raid, I needed to do a refit in the middle of the raid, and I needed to refit streamlined Cadium armor onto my ship, which was expensive. Thankfully, I filled up with uranium before the raid started. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So
yeah, that's 90,000 a pop.
Yeah, it was 3 lots of streamlined Cadium onto a Punisher.
And I mean, let's face it, I'm not one of them, but I see plenty of people, at least a handful per sector, who coin the new ship mid-raid, right? The moment they win the ship, they go and coin the ship.
Yep.
If they want to build that ship and coin that ship immediately with streamlined cadmium armor, they won't be able to, because they won't have uranium for that. So I think kicks right there, it's, you know,
they're losing money. They're losing
money, exactly.
Yeah, because my Centurion build wants free streamlined Cadiums on it. So
I'm that guy, Ren. Right? Like if I was going to build the Centurion, that's exactly what I would do. I would win it, and then I would build it, and I would be ranking it before the raid was over.
There you go.
Yeah, they have repair. Yeah. That's because you're a filthy coiner, Gadget. Anyway, okay, where are we now, Lucy? Where are we in your magical slides?
Well, this one I thought was kind of, everyone knows how, it's the same as last raid, so everyone kind of knows what to do, and I thought I'd put it in, it was on the forum, I thought I'd put it in, but this one's just about how to earn event points, and the different tiers again, or levels. Would you want me to skip this one?
Go to the next slide, yeah, but maybe we'll talk a little bit about, I mean, that slide is probably about what we're going to talk about now. I mean, I don't know if I imagine it was the same in the last raid. I'm pretty sure it was, but in this raid, you're going to have C sets, B sets, and A sets on the map. Yeah. Complete the set, you get a bonus, and also they're co-op, which means 2 players can go into them, and whichever player enters first is the player that gets the bonus.
Yeah, that's the key point here that a lot of people have got to remember, right? It's a lot of people are going to get tripped up by that. Because it's kind of funny who gets the points and who doesn't. Like if you go in and you die, then it shifts. Do you understand? Like if you start it but you die while you're in there, then it shifts over, right? Or you know, it's kind of complicated actually. You know, or it looks kind of complicated. It probably isn't, but it reads kind of complicated.
The thing is, if you went in, if someone was in there and if you went in there and you died, then you would have to come out, repair, go back in, and that person would have to come out, and then it would shift to you again, and then they'd have to come back in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it'd become like a whole process to do.
Like musical targets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but in theory, it should be okay because if you're going in, if you're going in there to clear a set for someone, then they'll go in first, so they get the bonus. Then you'll go in and kill the target. The only person that's going to die in there is you. So if you come out and come back in, it's still going to be on that person. So hopefully that will safety net it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you die, then you're going to have to come out, and they're going to have to go in first again. After you repair, right? Because it's whoever goes in first that gets the bonus.
Yeah, but right? if
you die while you're prepping it, then both of you need to come out, and they need to hit it first again, and you need to go back in.
No, because if you die, then if, say for example, they go in first and then you go in and then you die.
Yeah.
It's not going to shift, is it? Because it's still going to be on them.
Yeah, it'll still be on them.
Laredo and I can't say the name right. He says on the forums, the YouTube chat, that you have to start and live through the target to get the bonus. So you have to live through the whole thing.
No, wait a moment. There are 2 different things. One is who gets the completion bonus, and that's whoever joined first, and it's still alive at the end. So what you guys were saying, if the first person joins, dies, or leaves for whatever reason, and rejoins, now they're number 2.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's one thing, and that's for the tier bonus, right? The other thing is there is a badge, and the badge only counts if you do the target in one single hit. So if you damage a little bit and you get out and you go back in, then you don't get points or whatever.
You don't get credit.
Towards the badge, but the badge is not worth any points. It's just a vanity thing, right?
Yeah, but there are lots of people that actually collect them, right?
I know, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't while we're on the subject of that, there is a badge, isn't there? There is a badge on offer for. Is it going into an A set and surviving the entire A set?
There are two badges.
Yeah, it's further down. I think it's. I mean, I can
Yeah.
skip and go to that one if you want.
Yeah, I don't mind.
It's. Oh wait, no. It's a little bit after. I think we went by it actually. No, we didn't. It's further on. It gives a description of the badges and everything. It's up to you if you want me to go into it.
Just carry on.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, do you want me to skip? Do you want to talk about this first of all? Mega Hall, the
What are we
Elite
looking at?
target.
The Mega Hole. Well, I don't think
Yeah.
much. Has anything changed with the Mega Holes? I don't think anything has changed.
I think it changed a little bit.
Mhm.
I think it's the same, guys. If I read it right, I mean, on the forums, it just says, as before, same cooldown bar, same 4 platforms, the same splash, like high damage splash missile, super weapon, whatever.
Mhm.
To me, that was the best way of scoring raid points, but probably a lot more people are more savvy about it now, so it's going to be a lot of competition for those mega holes. That's what I'm expecting, because you only had 2-3 of them popping up in different corners of the map.
Yeah,
And I
you're
think
going to have
really-
20 people fighting over them.
Yeah. So, and that's co-op as well, and that's the same logic. Whoever gets in first gets the completion bonus, and the other person gets damage points, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I find the one of the ones where the Mega Holes were the easiest and cheapest way of doing the raid last raid, and that'll be my target this raid too. So, and I think there was many videos put out for that as well. So for anyone looking for information on that, we can provide some information on the page regarding that. But they're definitely, as far as I'm concerned, the only reason I'll be hitting the A set is for that, is maybe just get that shiny badge, and that'll be it.
Mhm.
Pretty much. But I know I'm going to hit the A set because I found them cheaper than the Mega Holes, to be honest with you. I mean, I got it down to like a coin per target, so it was costing me more than 3 coins to do a Mega Hole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you were running the Rhinos, weren't you, as well? Yeah.
Yeah, Rhinos with a Punisher tank and Harlock's Aegis.
Mm-hmm. It was just those cold snaps were such a pain, and there's so many mortars in those A sets.
Yeah, but my tank has like 9 Gale 3s on it. Right, so the mortars weren't a problem, and what you do is as you're approaching the cold snap, you run your tank just outside your Aegis field, and the cold snap's going to hit your tank, but it's not going to affect your Aegis field, and you run it just in front, and as soon as the cold snap dies, you move your Aegis up to cover the tank, and then you take minimum damage from each turret cluster that you kill, right?
Okay, well, we'll get into some tips and tricks as well later in the show. Lucy, go on to the next slide. Gone a bit slide crazy again, aren't we? So we're gonna look at the prizes now, and this is hopefully a part where we can elaborate a little bit on this. So this is a Centurion, which everyone's seen. I can't actually see any changes on this hull from the preview server. Can you guys see anything?
No, but Doom did say in the forums that these stats are not finalized yet, so they could stay the same, but they could change. So don't take everything you read here as set in stone.
Well, let's just read out the stats anyway for anyone that missed. For anyone that's been living in a different planet and has missed the stats, we'll just run through them anyway. So the tech is Forsaken. Armor points 6,993. I hate Kix's Eye. Why can't they just make an even number? I hate odd numbers. Why can't that just be 7,000, Kix's Eye? Come on.
It makes the math hard, right?
I know. Yeah, it just annoys me that. They always do that. Ballistic damage plus 55%. Ballistic range plus 40%, ballistic reload plus 40%. Kind of expected those stats on that. Siege deflection 475. Evade bonus 30%. Ballistic defense plus 50%. And radioactive defense plus 50%. Map speed 35 mph. Combat speed 18. Turn speed 13. Repair duration 1 hour 33 minutes. Weapon slots 10, armor slots 5, special slots 5, cargo 5.2 million, fire field resistance plus 75%, and then its special ability, which is its friendly field of effect that reduces splash damage. It affects all ships within its range. Its range is 20, which is equal to 1 land tile, and it's a splash damage reduction of 20%, which is multiplicative.
Multiplicative.
Multiplicative. That's the word, David. Sorry, Dave. So, so guys, I mean, we all had a chance to try this hole out in the preview server, and what was the opinions on it?
I love it.
You know, it's custom made for the Draconian mining bases, so it is the best hole to hit Draconian mining bases. But if for anyone out there who already has a Punisher fleet that can do Draconian uranium bases, you know, you could just carry on with that and do the DMBs as well. You don't really need to build a whole new fleet if you already have a solid Punisher fleet, or if you're halfway through building one, you know. But if you don't have a Punisher, I would strongly recommend you get this guy, because you can do the DMBs and likely you can do the DUBs as well.
That's kind of what I was going to say, to be honest with you. Like, you know, I don't intend to build them, right? Personally, I'm going to win them because you never know what's going to happen in the future. But I don't at this point intend to build them because I have Punishers. I've got a really, really good Punisher fleet, and you know, I just don't think it's worth it for me to spend the money to build this fleet when I already have a fleet that will do the job pretty much as well as they will. Yeah. I mean, if at some point a target comes out that they're better suited to, I'll build it.
Mm-hmm. Well, bear in mind that we haven't seen the new design of the Draconian bases yet, and they could be different.
That could be the target.
That could be the target that this hole is needed for. But I do kind of agree with you both there. I don't think that Kickside made this hole have enough of a niche. It doesn't have enough of a stat that sets it apart from the Punisher. I mean,
no, to me it's too niche. It's not versatile enough. It's only got one possible use at this point.
And that is mines. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I agree with that.
And to me, it's too in a niche for me to want to build it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, if I could use it for more things, then I might be more tempted to build that hull. Right. Well, the fact that I can only use it for one thing, it's two-dimensional.
And I'll give you an example, right? I mean, let's say you have that fleet, okay, and now you want to use the Centurions against the raid targets, TRA. Well, TRA is loaded with missiles, and this hull has 0 penetrative resistance. So you're gonna have to if you build it for the DMBs, it's gonna suck doing TRA on raids, or it's going to really suck doing FM because, again, it has no missile resistance, right? So, okay, now there's 2 guys in my alliance who already have a couple of Punishers built, and they said, you know what, I'm going to put 1 or 2 Centurions with them because of the aura. Now I'm going to have 2 Punishers to tank because they're much, much better, more versatile tanks, and I'm going to have the Centurions a little bit back because of the aura. Now
that's how I see it, as a support ship.
Yeah, that's smart. If you only build a full fleet of Centurions, it only works when you don't have to face missiles.
Well, I think what the players are going to weigh up here, in my opinion, is the players are going to look at, for players that do have Punishers, they're going to look at the Centurion and they're going to look at the Punishers, and if they've got a choice as to which to build, it's very clear that the one to build is the Punishers, because the Punishers they can use for the raids, they can use for hitting player bases. You know, they're far more versatile, and unfortunately the Centurion has been designed for a niche. It's been designed to do mines.
Laredo made a good point in chat. He said, I wonder how useful it will be for threat level red, because we don't know what's coming in threat level red yet.
Maybe. I just feel like they haven't they've designed it with a niche, but they haven't made that niche that good of a niche to make it a better niche than just building a Punisher. I mean, the Punisher can pretty much do what it can do at the moment. That's my view on it. I know there's some stuff coming we haven't seen, but is it going to really change that way of thought that much? Now, I also do know that there's a lot of players that decided not to win the Punisher at the time. There was a few players. There's a few players in my group, and there's a few guys I know in the game that seen the Punisher, White Star, and they seen the Punisher, and they said, no, I don't want to win that. And so this hole for them is a great hole, because if you don't have the Punisher, then it's a great hole to get, because you can build it in that manner.
Can you grab me another beer, please?
And you know, you can get.
Just drop it on the table there. Sorry, my bad.
Sorry, David, you've not muted your mic. You've just killed your camera. It's okay, I've got it. I've muted you, David.
So I was just saying, yes, you're right. It's a very good second choice to the Punisher, or it can be a mixed in on a Punisher fleet, But I think if you just build a fleet of Centurions, someone else on chat said, "Oh, maybe you can do Draconian Uranium bases," and I said, "No, you can't, because the Centurion doesn't have explosive resistance, and the uranium base has mortars and rockets. So if you walk in range of one of those rockets, they're going to hurt you bad, right?" So again, it's niche. It's probably not going to be good to hit player bases because most of them have missiles. It's not going to be good for FM. Not going to be good for raid. Not going to be good for uranium bases. Unless you have a more rounded tank.
I actually did take it into an 85 in the preview server. I took it into an 85 weekly target, and it took more damage than my Kodiaks take. Yeah. So, it was...
Probably because you didn't have any phalanx, right? You didn't have any countermeasures.
No phalanx, no missile resistance. I built it with radioactive and ballistic defense, which is what's needed in the mines. So, yeah, it was no good.
Yeah. But again, I mean, I think I'd rather have raids where the new holes branch out, so this guy is more rounded overall, this one specialized and whatnot, than have a crazy power creep like we were having a year ago, right? Where Crusader came out and Arbalest came out and everything else was useless. Then Rhino came out and Blade came out and everything else was useless, sort of. So no, I like that.
I like it too. I just feel almost that I just feel like they got it wrong very very slightly on this one. That's my only drawback is I just feel that they've made a hole with a niche, and its niche doesn't separate it to make it any better than a hole we already have. That's my only hang up on it. I just feel that it's been designed with this very niche use, but there's already a hole that isn't a niche use that's exactly the same as it.
In fact, the Punisher's better than it in a lot of ways, right? It has much better stats on lots of different fronts. I mean, the only thing that it has that the Punisher doesn't is the aura effect.
Yeah, but maybe with the higher siege deflection and higher resistances, that may not become an issue.
But it doesn't have a higher siege deflection. It has a lower siege deflection.
It has 0.
No. With the Punisher. The
Punisher has 500 compared to the.
That's what I'm saying. With the Punisher having a higher siege deflection and higher built-in resistances, so therefore its stats may run higher in terms of the way you build it. Then those differences may mean that splash reduction becomes completely irrelevant. Is what I'm saying. So that niche that they've given it may not be a niche at all.
And by the way, some people on chat were asking about the new cannon on Punishers or the old railguns on the Centurion. I did some mix and match on the preview server. The new cannon on Punishers works just as well as it does on the Centurion.
Well, let's bring up the cannon and let's have a quick run through. So again, we're looking at a Forsaken tech. Weapon type cannon, damage type ballistic, which we all know weight is pretty good at 285. It's quite low. It does add 200 armor points, which is nice. It's a nice little bonus that. Splash of 6, meaning that if you miss, you still hit. You know what I mean? If you miss, then you're still going to damage them off the splash of it. Range is 50. Damage is 200. That's damage to ships. Building damage 1,350. War damage 1,350. Reload time is 3 seconds. You can get that down very, very low on this hull. Accuracy is 80. Repair duration is 2 minutes 40. And here's its special ability. This is the one that got me quite excited in the preview server. Maybe a little too excited. Secondary weapon particle blast. The trigger chance is 0.3%. Now I did a calculation on that. Now it's a rough calculation, and it's more of like off the top of my head, but that basically means that your chance is 1 in 350 shots. Although I can tell you that in the previous server it was a lot more than that. But mathematically that's where it is.
Yeah, it isn't because like if you have 3-4 ships and you put 10 cannons on each, now you have 40 cannons.
Yeah.
And if you're Skull and let's say they're firing every second, so now you have 40 shots per second, right? And to get to 350, it's going to be less than 10 seconds, which is the cooldown period. So you're going to get one every 10 seconds once you get over 30 cannons.
But yeah,
I get that, but I'm not enamored with it because I mean, even when you get the special shot out of it, it does like what 1,350? No, what's the special shot?
No, the special shot is 113,000 damage.
Okay, 113,000 damage, right? My U-base Punishers do 141,000 building damage every 0.8 seconds. So you tell me how that weapon's better.
but that's not factoring in like you're factoring in siege battery there. That's not factored that in yet.
Yeah, I know, but you're still not going to top out at being better than Arbalest for the same job.
Well, I know the BP professor did put up he put up a chart that listed it compared different. It was a comparison chart, and it compared the different cannon damages, different cannon types, and I think Arbalest cannons still come out on top.
Yeah, they do.
But it didn't factor in its boost. But I mean, I can tell you that in the previous server when I was using this thing, I was getting those boosts quite frequently, and
Liam,
it's no longer locked on it. And the splash was 40, so when I was getting that boost, I was taking out like 5 or 6 turrets in one shot, and it was amazing. And I think in one volley, one time when I was taking a corner, in one volley I got 3 of those bonuses, 3 of those blue waves come out. Now I'm not sure if that bonus is once per cannon. Is it once? It is once per cannon. It's not once per ship or once per round.
Yeah, if the 10-second limit is...
No, it's per cannon.
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. It was per. That's what I was trying to say to you, Liam. It's per cannon, so the kind of stuff is per cannon. But I know in the preview you had like 3 in a row. There was
I had 3 in one volley at one point.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was just rapid.
Yeah, it's because 3 of the cannons are going off basically.
So if you get 30, 40 of them, then that means you're going to be getting those blasts maybe every second, every other second. Then the damage goes nuts. It's great.
Well, if say for example you're running 10 across 4 ships, you've got 40. Then you've got a 1 in sort of 40 in 350 chance.
I'd be interested to see what happens if you ran that fleet with a Wrath or a Grim Berserker and it overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting because that's quite a lot of shots going off. I mean, you're getting a triple salvo off each boat.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see that. I would like to see the cannons. Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting.
I'd like to see an overloading fleet of them and see what happens.
See,
the overload flagships now they die so fast.
But there's no cold snaps in there.
We did notice that the mines did have no cold snaps, so I wonder if they change that. They did say those mines were subject to change, so they could put them in there. So we better stop talking about it, or they might.
No, to say it as well.
But no, I liked the cannon. I did like the cannon. I liked the boost. All right, I'm a little kid, and I was like a little kid in a sweet shop.
Hadouken.
Yeah, it was like, you guys ever seen Street Fighter when Ryo does the little thing and the Hadouken comes out? It was like that.
What the hell is a Hadouken?
No, I know exactly what he's talking about because I used to play Street Fighter, and he does like this special move, right? And you have to do all these mad commands on the control pad to make him do it, right? And when he does it, he fires this like blue flame across it. He goes like this with his hands, and then he fires this blue flame across. Him and Ken do it, both of them.
It was just like that. It was. And the randomness about it, I think that added a little bit more excitement to it, to the game. I don't know. Maybe I'm clutching at straws with that, but I did enjoy it. And
it's good because it's a lightweight cannon as well, so you can easily have some railguns, be Arbalests or D110s, and then some particle accelerators, and you can have probably best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I find that I struggled to fit 10 cannons on a ship using a fairly respectable build. I could only really fit 8 per ship on the builds I looked at. So I don't know. Maybe I was running 2 heavy armors, but you could run these very light if you wanted. I think these Centurion ships as well. There's no need to stack them up to the rafters with armor.
Yeah, and it's the difference if you use arbalests or D110s because they're almost half as light as each arbalest. So then you can fit more of the other cannons.
But they do a lot less damage than arbalests.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, right?
Mm-hmm. So what's our verdict, guys, on the cannon? I mean, would you see yourself using this cannon in other holes, maybe in the Punishers and in maybe Crusaders?
On the Punishers, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to use any of them, to be honest with you. I mean, to me, I look at them and I saw them in the test server. I used them in the test server, and I don't see them being better than the Arbalest I've already got on my fleets. And until I see somebody do what I do with my Punishers better, I'm not going to change what I've already got. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense. Now let's change the question. If you're talking to a player who did not get the D110s, well, the Arbalest now is on tier 3.
No.
Should they get the cannons?
Absolutely, yeah. If you don't have a Punisher, then build the Centurion. If you don't have Arbalest, then build it with the new cannons on them. 100%.
Okay.
And I know I said this. I don't know if I said this earlier or not on air, but I know we were talking about this earlier. With these new build reductions, you're looking at reflective coating, which on a Centurion build for these mines is a must, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're looking at a D4R, D5R, which I feel is ideal for a Centurion build on these new bases. I mean, I actually looked at a build that was around 10 days. Given it had some Cadium armor on there as well, but 10 days for a ship.
But they brought down all the stuff you need to build this fleet, basically.
And I believe that the prize list is tailored to that too. I think looking at that prize list, if you were in a position that you could get to the top prize quite easily, and you needed to pick from each tier, I feel that you could set up a Centurion from that prize list alone. It's everything is there that you need. Lucia, you've got some prize list stuff, haven't you, on there?
Yeah.
I would have. Oh, it is there. Okay, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am.
Yeah, they've got everything in there that you need to build a Centurion fleet to hit the new targets, basically.
And what I like is that they didn't put reflective coating free and siege battery free in the same tier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. If you go back one there, Lucy, a minute, we'll just have a look at it. So let's give it our top picks. Top picks. What would you, if you had nothing in this raid, and you weren't a mega corner like Gadget, and you were looking at this raid, what would you guys pick? What would be your first pick in tier 1?
What in each tier? All right, okay. I'd go for the Vindictor, Vindicator. I can't even say it.
Vindicator.
Yeah.
Got there in the end.
Yeah, I go for that because it's versatile. Like you can do different things with it. If you're a low-level player and you don't spend much coin, you could build something good with that and do your weeklies cheap. You can hit basic bases, I guess. But
and it's ballistic. It's a ballistic orientated, isn't it? Or is that the one that's radioactive orientated?
It's both. It's a cannon hull, and it also comes with a high radioactive resistance sort of box.
And at R10, it's arguably the best anti-hull in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be wrong in saying that was the first ever hull to have radioactive defense released in the game?
I think so.
I think it was.
I don't know.
Come just after the Nuke Cruiser, I believe, back in 2014. And both those hulls took massive reductions in build times recently. The DNX quite noticeably dropped down to 6 hours.
Now you mentioned a good point. If you get either the Vindicator or the Dreadnought, there's a lot of retrofits ahead of you.
Yeah, for sure. Because the Vindicator needs to be R10 to reach its full potential, really. But
I would say at DNX, 8 weapon slots, 4 armor slots, 4 special slots. If you're a low-level player, you can build that hull in 6 hours, and you can put just about anything on it. Yeah, but you can also get a Citadel in this raid, so why would you go for a DNX? Well, if you can't get up to the Citadel.
What if you're a wee low-level player?
I think we're talking about now a lower-level player without a sugar daddy.
Yeah. Like Lucy.
Hey now.
Right, so tier 2, quite surprisingly in tier 2, is D5R. Is that Why is that in tier 2?
I don't know, but that's a must-have in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, that is definitely a must-have.
Especially now it builds super fast, and now with the DMBs dealing high radioactive damage. If you get any hull and you want to bump it up in terms of radioactive resistance, you want that armor, and now it builds fast.
And the new mines are heavy radioactive damage, so it's a good setup for Centurion.
And let's face it, who wants Siege Battery 1?
Yeah, exactly. But I've seen that run on a few builds of mine because it's a heavy special.
Yeah, but if you had to choose between them two,
D5R all the way. I mean, it's a great armor to put in there, and it almost feels like Kicksai's throwing a bone to people there to be able to do these mines.
Yeah, but it's in tier 2.
But by the way, yes, on that comment, Liam, I mean. The whole price list, it's tailored so players get what they need to do the mines. It's not even giving them an option to get anything else. Like, get the stuff you need for the mines. That's it.
But and also, while we're on that subject, I would like to say that I like a new approach. I know there's been many complaints about Kicksai not having enough. There's not enough prizes in here, and I know there's many different views on that. But they're kind of streamlining it and saying, look, this is what you need for what's going on in the game right now. And you can get a fleet together in tier 1, 2, and 3, or you can pick a good selection and create a really good Centurion hull here. And they're not complicating it and giving people too many things to pick from. They're kind of saying, look, this is what you need. Build it,
Yeah, and I'm old school, right? I mean, I remember those raids when we have the 50 different military draconian fleets. Remember that? And back then, we only had 2 prizes per tier to pick from. It was exactly like that. It was a ladder going up.
Yeah,
right?
And then the whole was
had to pick one.
Yeah, I remember.
That was it.
That was a good old days.
The only problem I have with it is I think that they set the price for the top prizes a little bit high. I think that they've basically priced out a lot of low to mid-level players from getting that, unless, as Ren said, they have a sugar daddy, right? I mean,
No, I agree. Well, we're going to look at the price there. So in tier 3, I think we're all settled that reflective coating free is the must.
Absolutely.
Not
coating free. D5R, mate.
I know reflective coating.
We're already on tier 3.
Go back to 3.
Go back to 3. So in tier 3, we're going to agree that reflective coating free is the must there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree too. I mean, it's a great special. I still use it on a few holes that have quite low radioactive defense.
Now I gotta say something, and I don't know if that's going to be true after the raid, but reflective coating 3 has been on FM for quite some time. It's a tier 3 FM prize. So, and I'm saying that because tier 2 we say get the armor. Tier 3 we say get reflective coating, and I bet on tier 4 we're going to go for the nuclear accelerator. That means you don't get siege battery at all.
Yeah.
So you're gonna at some point here you gotta pick a siege battery. And so I was gonna say if reflective coating 3 stays on as an FM prize, maybe you go for siege battery 2 then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be an option there if you're in a position to get that in the raid, because when we look at tier 4, that'll make more sense. If you skip ahead, Lucy, to the next slide, this is the most difficult choice in the raid.
Yeah, I think that's a horrible one that they did
that's a very horrible one, Kicksai. I would have rather they put the Crusader in there.
Yeah.
Or the Nova Storm in there, and then put Siege Battery into tier 6.
To make you choose between Siege Battery and Nuclear Accelerators, I think both of those blueprints are key blueprints, especially with the current trend of release at the moment. I think you need both of them, and to make somebody choose between one or the other, you're basically telling them, well, you're going to be behind the curve until we decide to release that again.
Well, I mean, both have been out in other formats before. Don't get me wrong. They've both been in Forsaken missions, have they not?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, forgetting for a moment about getting the best of everything, which would be ideal with the crappy choices we have right now, I would get nuclear accelerators and Siege Battery 2 and roll the dice on getting reflective coating on FM.
Well, here's a thought, though. Here's a thought for you. right? Nuclear accelerators boost the 20 combat speed and gives you a really nice ballistic range boost for a slightly lower weight than hardened barrels free, but they're still hardened barrels free as an option. You could survive, I think, without nuclear accelerators and run hardened barrels free at slightly cost to weight.
But you don't have an alternative to siege battery.
But you don't have an alternative to siege battery free. You know.
Good point, man.
So you could pick siege battery free and then run hardened barrels free
and still survive
and still be able to put that on the Centurion.
Yeah, that's a good point, because the another advantage of nuclear accelerator, it has an accuracy boost which 40%. You don't need against buildings. You don't need against buildings.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are right.
Yeah, there's a tough choice there, but for me that would probably be my thinking, and I would probably lean towards siege battery free.
I agree, mate. Take siege battery 3 and put hardened barrels on and lose a little bit of speed.
Mm-hmm. So let's jump into tier 5. Guys, what do you feel about tier 5?
I would take the Nova over the Crusader.
Why?
You would?
Really?
Why? Because I told you guys earlier, I have 6 Crusaders in my dock.
Oh, no. Put yourself in the shoes of somebody who doesn't have all the fancy ones. Because if you already do, I wouldn't take any of them. I would just keep that entirely, use my points and get tokens and limited prizes.
Well, because I think the Crusader is kind of limited in its uses at the moment, and I think at the moment we've been seeing, like, we've had that good mortar. I'd actually be interested to see a Nova Storm with a new mortar on it. I think it would be quite.
Have we lost David there?
Did he freeze there?
I think he's frozen now.
Okay, and he froze on a funny face. I like that.
Yeah, let's make David center stage there. And there he is.
That's a shame.
Right, so I mean, I think the point David was getting at there is that that he would like to he likes the Nova Storm. Let's think about the Nova Storm. It was reduced in build time last raid, so it's a viable haul. Personally, for me, I would take the Crusader because it ties in with the current trend. It ties in with ballistics. It ties in with the prize choices, and it would probably take down a Drake mine quite well. How do you feel about that, Ren?
The Crusaders, when I got them when they first came out, they were my workhorse for many, many months. When the Forsaken mission, the level 85 Stronghold came out, I was able to do 85s on week 1 with my Crusaders, right, and the Frosty flagship. So I like them, and I think you get a good cannon. You can get Arbalest or Bypass Chain Gun 3 from Tier 3 FM. You got a Crusader 4 special. I think the Vindicator only has 3. That's the downside of it. You know, and you can have a very solid fleet. The other thing is, I'm by default against mortars because they take so long to hit that by the time your mortars hit your enemy, you already took a lot of damage. And the cannons, they hit real fast.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, mortars comeback for me was the remote targeting mortars on the Citadels. That was a mortar comeback for me, but
just because of that, I would never build a regular. I would never build a regular mortar hull. I mean, the range sucks. It's 90 at best. The travel time, the air time of the mortars is awful. Right? So you get Crusader, you get the new cannon or Arbalest or whatever. You have a freaking good ship. I did level 40 mining bases on the preview server with my Crusaders, right? And they rocked. Then I did level 70, and I was able to do end-to-end, but I took like 7 hours of damage. It wasn't that good, but it's doable. I don't think you'd be able to do that with Nova Storms.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel a bit like I missed the whole Crusader wave. Like I was playing then, but I wasn't coining, and when Crusaders first come out, I didn't get them built straight away. I was busy building something else, and then by the time I built them, by the time I'd actually got the fleet together, they were kind of at the stage of where they were falling out of the game. And for me, I kind of missed that whole era, and I ended up scrapping mine, which I'm a bit disappointed that I did that. But I think I needed some res at the time to build something. So I like that they also received a reduction in build time, didn't they?
Exactly, but the Crusader has a reduction. Somebody on chat was talking about the Templar, like don't get the Crusader, get the Templar later in the campaign, but the Templar has not have its build time reduced. So you're facing now, if you want to build a Templar, over 5 days for a naked hull, and the Crusader is 2 days without an officer.
And if you can go from tier 1 to tier 6, you've basically got a fleet. You've got all your specials, you've got your armors. You could load it up with D5R, put siege battery free on it, HP free, reflective coating free. You're kind of there already. You've got your fleet. You're
good. I mean, you got the armor, you got everything you need to have something rock solid. To certainly do up to level. I mean, I'm going to say up to level 70. But level 70 is going to hurt without deflection. And
then you're hitting mines then. You know what I mean? And Kickside and everything you're building there is Kickside just reduced in build time.
Yeah. So, if you don't have anything better than that, I mean, talking about a lower level, again, Crusaders can do 85s. And they can do 85s on Forsaken Mission for like under 2 hours of damage. So it's a good option there too.
And they would probably run the new cannon very well. Now we're going to look at the new prices, and I know that the first thing a lot of people are going to say is that the prices are high, and I agree, the prices are high.
It's high, absolutely. I've never seen such an expensive set of new prices.
And there we go, Dave is back with us. Hey, that's a wave to David.
Yeah, I lost my internet for a minute there. I don't know what happened.
Where did you lose it to? Did you find it?
I don't know, man. Everything died, and I looked at my router, and the internet was gone, so I had to reset everything.
So, Gadget, the best part when your image froze, you had a face like you had just hit like a glass window or something like that, like a...
I was going to say another face, but, I mean...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You had a face like, oh no, Liam's just done my basing again.
Yeah, but that's never happened, so it can't be again.
Oh yeah. Right.
It was awesome. It was funny.
I'll tell you what, Liam. If you can get in my base, I'll give you 50 quid.
Well, hang on a minute. I've still got 50 quid to pay out from the last bet. Guys, tier 6. So the particle accelerator cannon, the new cannon which we've talked about already, that is 10 million.
That's high. That's high for a weapon, man.
Remember, these could change. It says up at the top, prices may change before events start. So it could go down.
Well, okay, but as is, it's freaking expensive.
Yeah, it's really high.
I agree. It is expensive.
I don't agree with that because I don't feel that it warrants being more expensive. I don't feel that it warrants being that.
If it was game changing. If it was like some must-have weapon that you absolutely couldn't live without, then I could understand them maybe making it high. But it's not. It's not that weapon, and it really doesn't deserve a 10 million point price tag.
No. Let's now look at the Centurion. That is 15 million. Again, we're on the high side here.
I think they're both too high. The ship and the cannon are just a bit too steep for what they are, because they're not, like the Centurion's not a versatile hull. It has one purpose, really.
I agree, and I mean is that more expensive than the Punisher was?
Yes, because the Punisher and the D110, they had the same prices as you see there for the Citadel and the Judgment Mortar.
And I don't think they warrant that cost. They don't warrant that cost at all. So I was a bit disappointed by that, I must say. And another thing I'm quite surprised to see here is the Judgment Mortar and the Citadel. I'm so surprised. I've never in the history of Battle Pirates known last month's prize to be in the next month's raid.
But Liam, if I were to guess, and that's just a guess, I think it's because last month we had like the first raid in a series, and a lot of people didn't like it and gave up and whatnot.
And they weren't ready for it.
And they just and now you have the second month of the same raid format. Now people are better prepared, and so the prizes are there again if people want to go for them.
Mm-hmm.
People have got their Punisher tanks built.
And also I think that they realise that the new hull is a very niche hull, and that there's going to be people that don't really want to get it. So they're giving them a good alternative to that. I don't like that the Judgment Mortar is in the same category as the cannon, but then saying that, if you're not going to get the hull, you don't really need to get the cannon. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to get the Citadel, you would go for the Judgment Mortar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, assuming you didn't play last month for whatever reason, bang on.
You know, you might be a guy who wants a base fleet, and you're looking at this and saying, well, the Centurion ain't really going to work for that. So you could then take the Judgment Mortar and the Citadel that you passed in the last raid, because now you've seen guys out with it, using it, and you realize that it's actually a fairly decent hull.
Yeah. By the way, if people are like, if they want to get the Citadel and coin the Citadel fleet, it's relatively cheap. And I saw people last month who coined it as soon as they got it, and even without ranking, they were doing tier A with a fleet of 4 Citadels, no special flagship, no nothing, and it was doing really well.
Yeah, I plan on using my Citadels for this raid. So
yeah, you got them skulled, didn't you?
I got them skulled. I got them skulled last weekend in the mine. So thank you, Kicks, for that. Yeah, so I mean, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. There's some great prizes. I'm kind of disappointed in the last 2 tiers. I'll probably get everything. I don't need anything other than the last 2 tiers, other than the new stuff. And you know, did you prepare a slide for the tokens, Lucy, or?
I'm really happy that they put these in. I'm really happy that they put the limited components back in. I think that's a big thumbs up, right? Because I mean, I know guys who have used all the limited components they have and now struggle to build a new fleet because they want the limited components for it, and the only way to get them is to take them off what they've already got built.
Well, they've put in the ship tokens again. Is that redeem limit correct? Because I thought that was lower than that.
It's lower than last time, and somebody pointed that out in forums, and Doom Roosters, what he said is because they've been, in the past couple months, reducing build times for so many components and ships and everything, people don't need as many tokens. They're trying to balance, I think, their pocketbook there at the same time, right or wrong. So
is that the correct figure that we've got on screen here?
That's what
Because I thought that it was 12 hours.
No, they're wrong. They're wrong.
I think
it's 3, 4, and 10, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, that's the ones. I'm not taking the blame for this. Andrew made this.
You can get 10 1 hour, you can get 4 12 hour, and you can get 3 24 hour.
But that's still not bad.
It works out to 5 days 10 hours.
I'm just going to PM Andrew just now. Don't worry.
It works out to 5 days 10 hours.
That's still not a bad reduction if you're in a position to get that. I know I had a lot of leftover points last raid, so you know I think that's it's still good to be able to get that. You may get half a Centurion on the water or a couple of dry hole Centurions on the water, with that. So I think it's a nice addition. I'm glad it's still there, and I can understand them reducing the amount because reductions in build times have been. We've had it for 2 months now, and they've really, really dropped. Yeah. I mean, my Centurion's 12 days a ship. I mean, that's insane.
I see them slowly phasing tokens out of the raid, to tell you the truth. I don't know whether they'll take them out of the Forsaken mission or not, but I can see them slowly phasing them out.
Well, the thing is, I feel that tokens, in my opinion, tokens were like a quick fix, like a small fix to a bigger problem, and I kind of feel that they're now addressing that bigger problem. Therefore, no longer need that smaller fix.
Well, but I think I agree if they reduce the amount of tokens, but the fact is, other than the top tier of players, everyone else is not getting tokens from Forsaken mission, right? So that's their only chance now because there's no token TLC on weekends anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't get them from FM because they're catching up, just recently able to do 85s and whatnot. So, this is their only chance of tokens, and I think would be very bad business removing them from the price list. If they want to bring the limit down, fine, but I wouldn't remove them.
No. No, I don't think they should remove them entirely, but I do kind of see their point in. I don't think it means a lot to them to reduce these. Like, did it really mean much to them to not give us 4 and 5 and 5? And I don't see it as being a big thing, but I can kind of understand why they did it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about it, Liam. I get like this month I got tokens 3 times, and I got 5, 5, and 3, so I got 13 days of tokens. Now I'm going to get 6 more. That's 20 days of tokens, right? In a month. It's a lot. It does affect their bottom line, I'm pretty sure.
And you just said that the recent reductions reduce your Centurion build by 7 days a pop. So that's 7 days of tokens that you don't need because you just got them from the build reductions.
So now if I look at 13 days of tokens from FM and 6 days here, it's 20 days, which means I can pretty much get 2 fully loaded Centurions for free. Instantly, right? At some point, they gotta balance their books there, right? I mean, we don't think that should go bankrupt either.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's kind of like it's took a complete 180, hasn't it? You know, we spend so long, you know, going off our nut about ship build times, and here we are being able to build 2 ships instantly. You know.
But again, you got keep in mind that is only the top tier of players, because everyone else is not getting tokens from FM. So that's all they get, 6 days a month, if they don't have to catch up on prizes.
Yeah, that's the lower to mid-level player that isn't hitting elite tier in FM isn't getting the tokens we're getting.
Yeah, but on the other hand, now, by the way, they're not getting the tokens, but they're getting mid-level holes that now build in under 2 days each, and we had to go through 6-7 day builds before.
But that's the balance. That's how they bring the balance, right? And I think it's a good balance now with all the reductions that have happened on a lot of the holes. I think the guys who aren't hitting elite tier and getting the tokens don't really need them for the holes that they're building.
Okay, well, we'll jump to the next slide because we are running a little bit
Just
over.
before we move on, I want to highlight something that came up on chat. Hefe, he pointed out that he asked, and I think one of the mods there, Laredo, confirmed that splash specials will affect the big boom on the new cannon.
Yeah,
so think about
I would
that.
imagine that.
Yes, they do. So I mean, you can get that splash area almost 40% more, 50% bigger. That's massive.
And another thing, I just seen that mentioned in chat there as well. I mean, you know, when we're on the talk of these tokens, and like you pointed out there, Ren, these tokens are available to the top level of players that are able to get everything every week, every month, and you know that's giving, you know, and I hate to say it, but that's giving the coiners an advantage, which I feel is, you know, we need to try and make these tokens available in another way so everyone can make use of it, because I think it's the lower ends that need these tokens more than we do.
But I mean, again, the lower ends are getting their builds now way cheaper.
Yeah, Liam.
No, I know, but
you've got come down.
But you've got to think of, I mean, I can't just think of everything from my own perspective of what benefits me as a player.
Yeah, but you're not. That's what he's saying. The fact is that a lot of the holes that these lower levels are building have come down by days.
No, I know.
You know, so they're already getting their stuff a lot cheaper than we're getting our stuff. I mean, your build might be 14 days, but for any of these lower levels that are getting that are building the holes that have all been reduced, their builds are going to be minuscule compared to what you're building.
Their holes have been reduced by 3-4 days, if not more. The specials now for all of us are reduced. A lot of armors are reduced. So I mean, these guys now can get a Crusader probably out in like 10 days. They can get 3 Crusaders out a month without any tokens.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
which is amazing compared to what it was a few months ago.
My first Crusader was like over 20 days.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Now you get 2 in the same time.
Now it's like a 50% reduction.
So I think the tokens that you guys said before, it was a stopgap measure. And I think we're getting to a point where probably we don't need them anymore, because either you wait 10 days and you get 3 new holes in a month, or you coin them, and even if you coin them, it's relatively cheap.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say to you, Kickstarter, if you're going to do the armors, just do all the armors across the board. Don't just do 2 armors. You know what I mean? Don't just do the C's and the R's. Do the M's and the X's and the E's as well.
You know, that would be nice.
Just do the board. You know what I mean? Just do them all. Don't just do 2. I just think it's silly. But anyway, that's me. Right, Lucy. Next slide. Next slide.
The next slide is blank. There is nothing.
The slide that shows the limited.
Oh,
you had it up a minute ago.
There we go.
Now, I know everyone's happy at this. Me, personally, I'm ecstatic about this because this is one area of the game that I'm lacking.
Yeah.
And I can at least get myself some more compound armor, some more agility systems, and a nice chunk of gels. So thank you, Kix, for that. Guys, what are your opinions on those? I know you were talking about it earlier, David.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, mate. I mean, I'm not even in a position like you where I'm playing catch up, but I still need them, you know, because I've gotten the maximum of every single one since they were released, and last raid having no limited components really hurt me, you know, because there's stuff that I still want to put them on that I can't until I get more. So I think this is great.
Lucy, you can stop sharing slides now. You can greet the lovely. This is why all the viewers have gone, because they can't see you.
I didn't know if you were looking at it or not.
Yeah, you can drop the slides now. You're still screen sharing.
I don't know how to stop. Oh, there I am. Sorry.
Oh, there's Lucy.
Hi. I was lying down like 10 minutes ago. I was lying across here, and I was just sitting like a total boss listening. It was great, and now I'm back. So.
Lucy, what's your catchphrase this week?
I love getting smashed.
Lucy, you've changed it. I didn't even say that.
What one?
That was worse.
What? I thought that was it.
No, just forget it. Just forget it. Okay, guys. We have.
Can I make a quick comment on the limited prizes?
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm gonna actually, it's a question for Lucy. Lucy, as a mid-level, do you think would help you to get at least a few gales instead of just using regular hailstorms?
Yes.
No, you don't know.
No.
You don't know? Okay.
I'm like that. Yes. No. I don't know.
I would say
because I think I'm not a mid-level, so I don't know, but
I think it absolutely would. It would absolutely help.
Yeah, because they're so much better than the hails, and you know, at least getting a couple of Gale 2s or maybe 1s, I don't know, but getting a couple of them to put in your
I think for me, like I am, even though I'm not a high level, like I shouldn't be the level I am because I don't have a lot of tech, and I think for me this raid it's more the cannon is too out of reach for me, and so is the hull. Unless I have someone doing the raid for me in Sector Gadget, help me. So I think as a level player, I'd probably focus on going for more kind of like build tokens, so I can build. I still haven't built my rhinos. That's how far behind I am just now. I haven't built my rhinos, so getting some build tokens and stuff is really important for me, so that I can get a decent fleet that I'm going to be able to do my missions each week, and I can do like basic hits on bases. So I need to get some tokens. I'll probably get the Gales and a few other bits and bobs. I'd love to get the cannon. I think the hull is not for me, but I think the cannon is something that I could put on a different ship, if that makes sense. So, I mean, I don't know. I prefer. I'm going to be honest. I preferred last raid to this raid, prizes wise. But I mean, everyone's different, I guess. So, yeah.
There we go, and that's the word. That's the word from Lucy. Guys, so I know we've run a little bit over, but I feel we would be doing an injustice if we did not give out some tips and tricks. Any information we can give? Yeah.
I think tips and trick number 1. Remember that the targets on the raid, other than the mega hull, all others they have a lot of mortars. So if anybody's doing co-op, don't enter from the same side unless your fleets can keep up the same speed, because otherwise somebody's going to trail somebody and it's going to get smashed by the mortars.
Yeah.
So enter from different corners and meet in the center. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say for anyone that has rhinos, I mean, it basically... For me, my secret to the raid would be hitting the 101s, and if you can hit the 101s, 9 times out of 10 you'll be doing them cheaper than you will be doing the ASETs. So that would be my tip for anyone is look at the 101s first. If you can get maybe a tank in your fleet, rhinos running very, very well in there. That's what I used last raid. Citadels will run very well in there. For the lower end, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm really not sure, because I don't know if anyone caught it, but I streamed the last raid and I suffered big time trying to use fleets like Kodiaks and some lower end tech. I mean, they absolutely got mauled. So you know, if you can pair up with a bigger player in your alliance and jump into some targets with them, you know, that would obviously be a great way to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's a difficult raid, and I don't think that they've reduced the difficulty on this raid. I think you're looking at basically the same raid as last raid with a few visual changes. So, you know, expect the same and use what you learned last raid, and hopefully, you know, you've got some rhinos together and you can give them a go. But the 101s for me are the best way to go. Gadget?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, to me, I'm just going to do exactly the same thing I did last raid. But that's not really going to help out any lower to mid-level players. I mean, for me, if I'm going to use a Punisher tank, 3 Rhinos, and a Harlock's Aegis, but if you don't have that, I don't really know how to advise you, because I mean, that's my only perspective, is what I've done. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Punishers work as well. I mean, there is different fleets that work, but it seems to be that the raid, at least for me, the raid difficulty last raid felt so difficult that you needed the high-end fleets to be able to do it.
You need a deflection tank.
Mm-hmm. You need it, of course. I actually coined a deflection tank during the last raid, which then meant I could continue and finish the raid for 100 coins.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I would say is essential, is a deflection tank. And you could probably choose lots of different combinations of other hulls to put behind it, but you need a good deflection tank, and you need Gales.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys,
by the way, before, just on the raid still, for anybody who's going to or thinking about coining hulls or doing quick refits, if you have a tank that's full of countermeasures, just remember, right after the raid, there's going to be a new special on Forsaken Mission that is a mix of the countermeasure loader and the siege battery. So it's going to give you siege defense and a boost for countermeasures instead of an attacking boost on your damage.
That's actually an awesome special. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's an awesome special.
Yeah, my Punisher tank is all countermeasures. So right now it has siege battery. I'm going to remove that and put the new special as soon as I get it. So for people thinking about coining that or quick refits, keep that in mind. Siege battery is going to be good for offensive hulls, but not for defensive ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's great tip and great information there, Ren, as well. Well, guys, we have run a little bit over, but we had a lot to cover in the show again. We really appreciate again the community support to the show and the way that you've all been in the page. You know, we've really been having a great time with the show, and we're going to continue to keep making it better. I mean, we did get bombarded with a hell of a lot of information for our first show last week, and I think this show has been a busy show with the raid, but I think once we find our groove, and we're going to really start focusing on providing great info to the community, like build ideas. I know Ren's got some great ideas of doing some shows about base defense, where we're going to bring up some bases and to talk about their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, I want to call it base clinic. We're going to do base clinic.
So we're going to add segments to the show. Ren's going to do a base segment, and I know David's got a couple of ideas, and Lucy's got some ideas. So the show's going to keep growing. So keep sticking with us, and we'll keep improving it. And for anyone who watches the show who isn't in the Facebook group yet, come into the Facebook group, because we're having an absolute blast in there, and we're really working hard to try and help the community and help the players. We're posting builds and strategies, and there's a lot of conversations and videos going up in there, so some really great information for the community. And the link address to that is www.facebook.com/group/TFCBP/. So yeah, I mean, come and join us in the page, and yeah, let's get in there and make fun of David. He loves that.
Well, no, not only that, but I was going to say, you know, if you have any suggestions of sort of things that you would want to hear, then that would be the place to sort of raise them, right? Because we all look at the page daily, and we're going to get that. If you have any suggestions of stuff that you would like us to talk about on the show, obviously we're not going to do everything that people suggest. You know, but if it's a good idea, I'm sure people will run with it.
And don't forget our open mics on Saturdays. We will be having an open mic this Saturday, and it will probably be like a mid-raid show. So we'll probably a lot of focus will be about the raid and maybe stuff that people are finding useful. So join us for that. That'll be on Saturday, and information about that will be posted on the page towards the end of the week. From myself and the rest of the admins here on the Forsaken Council, we hope you all have a fantastic raid. And if you want any advice or tips, I'm sure some videos will be going up on the page. I will be streaming the first couple of hours of the raid as well from World Alpha. So yeah, I mean, join us there, and thanks for coming out, and we'll see you again on Saturday.
Can I just say, hi, Raina?
Is that you flirting again, Gadget? Yeah. So we'll see you guys Saturday. Thank you again for coming out, and we'll see you then. All the best.
Bye.
Bye. Take care, everyone.
Bye.